Hello, and we are live. It is day 2 for the perfect 10. And today we're talking about your perfect assets. Yes, pun is intended. Ladies, hello and welcome. If you are just joining me on the live, let me know that you're out there. I know that with the post that I made this morning, we had half and half. Some people are saying, hey, I'm catching you on the replay, and you know I'm going to follow up with you guys. I'm here to help keep you accountable these next couple days. I see Stephanie, you are coming on. Hello. We had a great conversation this morning. And who else is out there? I know that there's sometimes a little bit of a delay, but gals, yesterday was such a powerful day. It was awesome to connect with some of you in the DMs to see what your biggest takeaway was. And a lot of people said like, hey, I didn't know my liver was that important. I mean, I know that I don't want to abuse it with alcohol and everything, but holy cannoli, I got something out of this and I'm incentivized because now I know the method behind the madness to the liver rescue smoothie, to the lemon water ritual. So that was really great feedback. The other thing is we got radically honest with ourselves. You gals were sharing some of your personal stories, your old stories, and breaking that belief that was limiting us so that we could rewrite the story and write a new story. All right. Hey, Heather, I see you jumping on. Thank you to everyone who did their you work. So not to be confused with homework. I talk about this with my one-on-one clients all the time, that your you work yesterday was there were 2 assignments, but you just had to post one if you wanted your free gift. And the one that you got the free prize for was posting a picture of you when you were younger. And next to it, that you were putting your sticky note that says, stop, I'm a perfect 10. And we did this visualization exercise yesterday that took us to a place when we were younger. Some of you said, hey, Aubrey, I can't find any pictures from when I was younger. That's okay. You still posted the sticky note. I've had challenges where people post these sticky notes all throughout their house and their pantry because we found that there was power in the pause so that we wouldn't revert back to the old story to say, all right, I want to get a streak going. I want to do this 10-day program because after these couple days, I'm not going to be coaching you gals. After that, I'm going to be setting you free. Mama bird is kicking baby bird out of the nest, and we're going to see how you do. All right. But the sticky note technique is really helpful because it helps to train your subconscious mind. Now, there are 3 parts to our mind: conscious, subconscious, and analytical. So our conscious mind, you are consciously aware that there's a talking head in front of you and this woman has a perfect 10 t-shirt on. The subconscious mind is running the show. It's in the background and it learns like a 7-year-old. And that's why it's really helpful to visualize a stop sign when you are about to make a choice about your food, about your fitness. So there's power in that pause. The analytical mind, though, that can get us into trouble. They say the devil's in the details, right? Where we can look at perfect 10 and we could overanalyze it, or we could simplify it and say, you know what? I'm waking up today, I'm gonna have some stinking lemon water. I'm gonna wait 15 minutes, let my liver cleanse, and have the world's easiest smoothie ever, right? And then about noon, I'm gonna eat as healthy as I can. Basic whole foods. So we can keep it simple without over analyzing it. All right, so I was letting you gals come on the feed. If you are new to this group and you were just tuning in, you didn't register for this free challenge, I wanna say hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. I know there's a ton of groups that you can be on. I know you can be on TikTok and getting those dopamine hits and getting your brain scrambled with, 10-second videos. But instead, you are playing full out. You're going to close the tabs, minimize distractions, and focus because it's only 4% of your day. In fact, I'm going to say 3% of your day today. And if you stay with me to the end, you're going to get your perfect 10 college diploma. But I digress. And I have been in the business of building bodies for the last 20 years. My name is Aubrey Warwick. I think you already knew that. But I've created the perfect 10 less than 3 years ago. We have distributed this program to the masses in Pittsburgh, and people continue to download it off my website. You've downloaded it. If you are enjoying the Perfect 10, I encourage you to send someone my website instead of just sending them the PDF. This way I can have their contact information. Consider it's like my tip jar. Also, some of you, most of you are just in it for the free 10 days. And I think that's fantastic. I want to have more case studies to see how you are responding to this program, because hundreds and hundreds of women lose up to, about 5-6 pounds in 10 days. They lose inches off their midsection, but really they feel better because we're doing gratitude in the morning and gratitude at night, and we are taking a whole audit on our life. So, ladies, I want to congratulate a couple of you who posted, and if I miss your name, please let me know. Say, hey, what about me? What about me? All right, we have Janet. She did her U work. She is a fan of the brand. She shows up in a lot of these P10s. I've had a chance to coach her one-on-one for a little bit. So congrats to Janet. Heather Settlemeyer, yes, thank you very much. Let's get that P10 bolded on your dry erase board. Kayla Starr Smith, doesn't she sound like a superhero already? Patty Cobb, oh, thank you. You found a picture. Mikette, you got your picture going in there. And who else am I missing? I might be missing somebody else that Dan's going to figure that out for me. But if I missed you, I'm so sorry. I'm going to do 10 push-ups. All right. Now, a real quick, so we recapped from yesterday. Feel free to ask any questions in the newsfeed about the protocol for Perfect 10. You have all that information documented in front of you. I did mention something yesterday that my cat drew my attention to. She said, hey, Aubrey, you piqued my curiosity. You mentioned, why should we not have caffeine on an empty stomach? I did fold that in there. And I've coached my cat. I have known my cat, oh gosh, since before I was pregnant. Her and I go way back, and it's gone too fast. But I said, okay, good catch. And this is a hard one for us. But, if we are dumping caffeine in our bodies on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, that is going into our digestive system, and the other organs of the body have to use that fuel, if you want to call it fuel, that liquid, and it contains caffeine. So we like that pick-me-up, and it does signal the adrenal glands to secrete epinephrine or adrenaline. But if that's the only thing in our system, the adrenal glands can get really tired, and we don't want that. So it kind of works against us in the long run. So ideally, we want to have something, even if you have a little date in your system, that can help offset the annoyance of caffeine on the adrenal glands. I digress. All right. If you are out there joining me on the live, can you give me a little heart emoji? We're going to play full out today, and we want to acknowledge our 3 S's from yesterday, that we knew about implementing any plan will work, okay, if you change your story. Because you can have the best strategy, you can even have the best attitude, but if you don't change your story, every plan will fail. And that's why I do what I do. Okay, that's why people hire me, because they have such a hard time changing their story, and they actually need an expert to help them override that old programming. I've done that to myself. I've gone into the deep, dark, scary cave where my big ass, hairy, scary goals are. I've gone in there, come back out, and I continue to do it time and time again as I'm evolving myself, helping my clients evolve, etc. So for you, you might be the type of person who knows that she needs more than 10 days. Gals, I always want to encourage you during these challenges, that's why I do them, to book a call with me. You will get an email from me that says, hey girl, book that call and stop blowing yourself off. And the call is free. You can learn about what my prices are. I will tell you that tomorrow, by the way. It is not the world's biggest secret. And you can see if we're a good fit, all right? And vice versa, because I'm not dragging anyone through the mud. It's like, do we want to date each other for 6 months, that's where you want to book the call, and we will get to know each other there. So, all right, we'll talk about that more later. But we are going to focus on something really, really cool today. I'm going to help you change your physical state, and I'm going to teach you how to make the most out of your perfect 10 exercises. Oftentimes, people are very curious. How do you get a better butt? How do you get that hourglass figure? Now, I was not born with the skeletal structure of an hourglass. My sister was. So from me, I had to move the meat around on my earth suit a little bit as best as I could. And I do that through strength training. So what we're going to do today is acknowledge the areas of our body, as I'm a bodybuilding artist, okay, is to build up your shoulders, build up your glutes, and to also narrow the waistline. And we can all have the opportunity to do this. And this is the physical part. This is like when you become the interior decorator of your dream house and you get to focus and have fun and say, you know what, yeah, I want to do these exercises because they make you feel good, they make you look good, they keep you strong, they keep your back from blowing out when you're lifting heavy objects, all that good stuff. So it's all tied together. All right. So we will change our state with a little bit of breath work. And then we're going to go into understanding how the mind-muscle connection actually works. And I have been working with people in the flesh for a long time, when I had my pole dancing studio for 14 years and before that. And working with thousands of women through the years, I know that physical touch is one of the most effective ways to understand how to innervate muscles to make that mind-muscle connection. And the more that they did it, they were able to create more vital metabolic tissue. What does that mean? The more muscle they had, the higher the metabolism was, the more energy they had. They started to see their shapes shifting in places they wanted. So how cool is that? All right. Wherever you are, as long as you are not driving, you are going to take a nice stretch of your arms overhead. But today we're going to interlace our fingers overhead. You're going to push your hands out and up, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. And then you're going to start to look up at your interlaced hands. Inhale through the nose, and on an exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. We're going to repeat this time. Interlace your hands the opposite way. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, push those hands out and up, lengthening your spine. This is one of the best stretches that you can do all day, especially if you work from home like me. Now look up. What this is doing is taking pressure off of the spine. And look, it's a little nerve floss. Check this out. Because when we're doing this all day at our desk or phone, we want to combat that. It might even be fatiguing for you, and that's okay. That just means we need to strengthen that through repetition. And we repeat, because repetition is the mother of all skill. Interlace those hands. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, pull the elbows back and the shoulder blades down. Lift your chin. And this one's going to feel phenomenal because you don't do it a lot unless you're screaming at your kids. You're going to inhale. Exhale, open up your mouth, unhinge your jaw, and just say, like you're at the dentist. Oh my gosh, and come back down. I was at the gym today and I was practicing this, and I'm like, I don't care who sees me. They're probably like, are you losing your mind over there? Nope. Feels good. Don't knock it till you try it. Interlace your hands the opposite way. Sorry, come into that from that prayer pose. Inhale. On an exhale, you're going to lift up. We're going to unhinge the jaw and say, Do you feel the fascia in your face stretch out, Dan?
Yes. I feel good. Release the tension.
Yeah. Dan, what's fascia? Bring it back down. Do you know what fascia is?
It's that stuff underneath our skin that covers all our muscles. That
They can't hear you. You can come in. Peek it.
It's that stuff underneath our skin that covers all our
over.
muscles. I'm not close enough.
Okay, he's shy. Okay, so fascia is the connective tissue that is it encases our muscles, our organs, our tendons, and ligaments. And if you're not doing facial exercises, it gets really tight, so your jaw clenches. And because your physiology affects your mood, just like food affects our mood. So if you're like this all day, clenching your jaw, not that you really look like this, but you know what I'm talking about. You clench your jaw, your shoulders are tight. It's not going to make you like the friendliest person to be around, right? Just think about how you feel after you do a massage, after you do a yoga class. How did you feel right after a couple of those stretches, right? You can feel like you can handle annoying people better, right? Dan can at least, right? Meaning me. Dan's never annoying. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this a couple more times, but we're going to go faster. All right. Sit up nice and straight. Hands to the heart. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. Interlace the hands. Press the palms away. Look up and unhinge the jaw. Say, ah. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to heart. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Slide those blades into your back pocket. Interlace the hands the opposite way. Inhale. Through the nose. Look up. And exhale. Ah. Good. Do this 2 more times. Come on. Inhale. Make sure you're switching your hands each time. Exhale. Push out and away. Pull those elbows back. Look up. Chin up. Aggressive breath in. Feel the lungs stretch. Exhale. Oh my gosh. Do this 1 more time, but really, really try to like open up your mouth as big as possible, like you're Tarzan. Inhale and exhale. Oh my gosh. I feel like I need to stretch my jaw even more. Okay. Awesome. 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 So you're going to now make witchy fingers. We're going to engage the joints of the hands. You're going to open up the elbows to the side. And you're going to give me a nice cow back if you're familiar with that. So really arch your back, stick your butt out. Now contract for cat. Inhale through the nose and exhale. This is a nerve flossing technique, but I want you to engage the joints of the hands, okay? So that you are starting to warm up the ligaments and tendons of the body. This is Mind Muscle Connection 101. Also, the straighter you stand, the thinner you look. Bonus. Okay, more confident, I should say. More confident as well. All right, keep going with this. As you're cat-cowing from your desk, we are sitting and being fit. 2 more. Last one. Good. Now shake your body out. Give me that good old-fashioned shimmy. Relax those arms like battle ropes. And then this one is from my good friend, Colleen Bortz. She always said this, and I loved it. Flick your fingers like there's no paper towels in the bathroom. Awesome. Now, we did get some comments yesterday. Some people really, really liked the tapping exercise. So feel free to tap. We're going to just continue to change our physiology and our state because it is hard to watch someone for this long. And we are going to stand up. All right. Now, this tapping point is underneath the collarbones. It stimulates your thalamus gland, and it also, I like this. Donna Eden coins it best. She says you have these little energy buttons or acupressure points that when stimulated, when tapped on, when massaged, we are able to free different emotions. Emotion means energy in motion. You can't see it, but you can feel it. You know it's there. All right. Shimmy again. Anything else that you need to do? Get some water. And we're ready to get our butts out of these chairs. Okay. Here we go. So whenever you have brain fog, how many of you have brain fog? Drop in the comments a yes if you've had brain fog. I didn't even know what that term meant. All these terms I have to get familiar with. I'm like, oh, you mean when you forget something? Got it. Or people, I do like these labels. When people are like food noise, I'm like, oh, you mean when you're hungry? Got it. So, okay, I love how we reframe everything these days. So if you've had brain fog, one of the easiest things for you to do to defog your brain is to do some calf raises. All right, you can do this sitting or standing, but I like you to get your pretty little selves up. And I can't step away from the camera here too far because I've noticed that then you can't hear me. But again, you might have to move the phone for me, but we'll see. I want them to see my calves. All right, so take off your, I'm sorry I say so every 5 seconds. Take off your shoes and take off your socks. All right, so I want bare feet. And what we're gonna do are a couple of calf raises, but we're gonna do 10 of them, but this is a very special way. This is how we get the brain to communicate with our muscles better. And then when you do other exercises, guess what? You're going to innervate or recruit more muscle fibers, burn more calories when you're doing it. All right, because a lot of times people are like, I'm not feeling it. Let's go there, use your brain. Okay, so let's first start. This is called the Pada Bandha in yoga. You're going to spread your toes out nice and wide like you're about to play the piano with your toes. So look down and spread those toes nice and wide. My feet are damaged because I was born this way, as well as years of dance and terrible shoe choices. All right, so now that you can do that, I want you to think next that you are kneading dough with your toes. That's not like the yummiest analogy, is it? You can also think that you are on a beach with sand and you are trying to pick up every little grain of sand, okay? Now in the past, we've used a towel with this exercise. What we are doing is starting to wake up the connective tissue of the feet, the fascia. Your fascia that, again, encases the entire body. If your fascia is tight, guess what doesn't work well? Your muscles. Guess what doesn't happen well? That mind-muscle connection. Now from here, you're going to just alternate. This is called demi-point. Oh my gosh, in the world of dance. So you're gonna alternate coming up through the second and third toes of your feet. So I'm coming up. You can see I'm kind of like forcing the arch. And since I've moved, you know what, I'm not even gonna tell you guys, since I've moved here, I've had all sorts of fascia issues getting my body back, but this feels phenomenal. I'm going specifically between my big toe and my second and toe as well. That's where I need the stretch. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do to wake up the feet to start to beat brain fog is you're gonna do a heel dig, but you're gonna alternate this. So it looks like this, you're gonna walk just on your heels and we can march in place, okay? So as we're marching in place, what is happening now is that I'm lighting up this super sexy muscle that I need to work on. It used to be so much bigger. It's called your tibialis anterior. I love this muscle. But this is actually a great way to prevent shin splints if you walk a lot. Okay, so we're marching on our heels. Next thing we're gonna do is turn our feet into like stamps. So think that you're on an ink pad and you want to get all this ink all over the arches of the feet, the soles of the feet. All right. So I'm trying now. I thought I had high arches. A guy at the foot store said I had medium. I was like, don't you tell a pole dancer that. I want to hear I have high arches. He's like, seriously? Yes, I'm dead serious. But anyway, it's hard. It might be hard for you to get the arch of your foot. Okay. So now just wiggle those toes around. Now you're ready. Now you're ready to get the brain fog to go poof, bye-bye, and you're going to be like so super smart and remember everything. Okay, you can hold on to something for this. We're going to go from a parallel position. You're going to come up into a calf raise as if you had on 8-inch stilettos. And that was Dan's analogy. I was like, when are you wearing 8-inch stilettos? Do you have something to tell me that I don't know? He doesn't. Okay, as far as I know. All right, so from here, we're going to come on up. And I want you to push weight into that's the second and third toes. Come on up, and we do everything in 10 for perfect 10. So let's go for 10, 9, I mean all the way up. Get all the way up there. Now squeeze your calf muscles. Push the floor into your basement if you have one. I do not anymore. And I think we have about 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, up and hold. Now, squeeze your calves, excuse me, as hard as you can. I hope you're not getting a cramp because you had a banana in your smoothie today. You shouldn't be. Draw all that weight down, and now you're going to march on your heels again just to combat that lactic acid and get it out. Okay, so what did we do? We started to first and foremost build a foundation. This program yesterday, we talked about we have to have a good foundation in order for it to work. When we work out, we want to make sure that our foundation, our feet, can feel the floor, feel our shoes, can actually be prepared for a squat to help us balance. If you don't wake up your feet, your workouts are not going to be as effective. Mark me. Mark me. Okay, so now, how do we feel muscles a little bit better? I was talking about being manhandled. Dan, you want to frisk me? No? Okay. Maybe later. All right, so what you want to do is before you do an exercise, let's say you're like, Aubrey, I really want to grow my glutes, or I want to make them stronger so my back doesn't hurt. If your back, you got back, if you have back problems, guess what's happening? Your booty ain't engaged. You got ass amnesia. You got to wake her up. So you're going to give yourself a pat on the bum, right? In a squat, you're going to give yourself a pat on the thighs like you're a sumo wrestler. And then you're going to squat. And you can frisk yourself like your airport security as you're doing these squats, okay? Now, as I'm squatting, this is just because I've practiced this, I'm lifting my toes almost completely off the floor, okay? And as you're doing your 10 squats each morning, see how that makes a difference in you engaging your glutes and your quads. 2 more. Down and up. And I'm going to give you a really big secret. 1 more for good luck. Okay. Give me a good old-fashioned thigh shake. When I observe people in the wild and they're exercising, they are not getting the full benefit of the workout. Do you want to know why? If you want to know why people do not get the full benefit of their workout, drop a yes in the comments. Why would a person who's working out at the gym every day, getting after it, they look the same, the same, the same? You could say, well, it's their diet. Well, they're not going up in weight selection. Those both could be true. The number one thing that I observe is because they are distracted by talking to someone else, talk, and or they're on their phone. Their body can't do all those things at once. I know we want to say that we're awesome at multitasking. We're not. We are not. Okay? So I see them talking and they're like, yeah, girl, hey, I love this class. This is the best. And I'm proof of it. I used to teach a ton of group fitness classes and people would be like, oh, you still have to work out after this? I'm like, yeah, because I wasn't actually in my body. I was coaching, doing physical things, and I had what I call the group fitness body, which is kind of like you look like you're fit, but you don't really have the muscle definition, because most group fitness instructors don't have the time to then work out again or the energy. So for me, I had to make that choice, and that's why I love strength training. Put on my headphones. I'm not chatting while I'm moving. I am thinking, all right, am I feeling these muscles working? And it goes back to yesterday when I pulled your attention in. And I said, listen to me. Because if you are distracted, you're not going to absorb any of this. If you are distracted, you are not going to get the results that you want out of your workout. Be where your feet are. That's what I said. Be where your feet are. And it's advice my mom always tells me now, and I'm like, she's right. She's like, Aubrey, you're meant to be right where you are. Don't think that you have to, hurry up and play beat the clock. Okay. All right. So I told you guys in my email to grab a pillow. Dan, I have a pillow over there. So we're going to do something else. I usually on these, on day 2, we'll do something fun where it's like, okay, maybe you don't have all this equipment at your house. Maybe you don't have bands. You're like, I don't even feel like buying a band at Marshall's. Fine, but you got a pillow. All right, or a towel. I've done so many towel workouts. It's so cool because like you could go on vacation. You don't have to pack anything and grab a towel and have a workout. Well, you can also do this with a pillow. And I want you to try this with me since y'all standing up now and I'm in my kitchen here. Why wouldn't you work out in your kitchen, right? So with your pillow, we are going to do an overhead squat. I can do so many things with this. And I want you to see how this feels different. So I just opened up your shoulders with that posture stretch earlier. We're going to take the pillow overhead and you're going to think like you're pulling the pillow apart. So what this does is it forces you to have resistance through the shoulders. And we're going to engage those postural muscles now. So pull the pull the pillow apart up over your head. Now I want you to squat down with that pillow, but continue to pull it apart. Now do your 10 squats and try not to let the pillow drop. Okay, so I want to keep it up over my head as much as possible, which is not easy. It really makes it much harder, especially if you're nursing any shoulder injuries. You got tight pecs, right? Keep going. So pull that pillow apart. This is an example of an overhead squat. Something else that you can do is a front squat, a genie squat. And I can put the pillow right under my chin. Check this out. And keeping your elbows parallel with the ground. Oh my gosh, I love that. I really love that. Because it keeps your head in a really good alignment. So yes, so what I did, I dream a genie. Okay, here. And then I press my chin gently, this one is gentle, into the pillow. Okay, so we can kind of jazz up your basic 10-10-10 exercises, the 10 squats, the 10 push-ups, the 10 crunches using the pillow. I'll show you how with the push-ups and the crunches here in a second. I give you a bonus exercise today that will help integrate more muscle fibers and decrease your brain fog because those calf raises act like a pump. You are pumping more oxygenated blood up into, ding, 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 your brain. Okay, so let's see here. We are gonna go over here and I wanna bring you, if I may, over into my living room with my pretty ocean carpet. Okay, so now let's say we're ready to do something upper body. Now I've had plenty of people before tell me, Warwick, I ain't getting down on the ground and I'm not doing push-ups. You can do this against a wall. Okay, you can do this against a wall. So the other thing that you can do with, if you can do kneeling push-ups, you can stack pillows for this. Dan, could you throw me one of those blue pillows? The obvious thing, now this is just for your own benefit. You can obviously cushion your knees with a pillow. But if we want to do some pillow stacking, this is a great form check for your upper body exercise. I love push-ups. You know why? They're empowering. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You work your chest, the front of your shoulders, and your triceps. And honestly, I think you feel like a badass because you're like, I'm doing a freaking push-up, man. And there's so many different ways you can do a push-up. But from here, you can pillow stack. And I want you to check this out because this can help us with good form. I'll stretch back into child's pose to kind of set myself up nicely. And I'm going to allow my chest to just touch the pillow and push away. Almost like a little springboard. This is an example of tempo training. I go down slow, up quick. Down slow, up quick. Keep going with that. As I'm doing this, not only does this help me as my own little personal trainer, my spotter. Oops, tuck that booty in, Aubrey. If you are doing push-ups like this and you feel it, that's actually okay. It might look like a really poor form, but if you're feeling it, I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna tuck my booty. I can also come up to my toes because your girl loves push-ups. We come down, push up. If you're ready to go on your toes, allow the pillows to support you, because really you don't need to touch your chest to the floor. And in fact, you shouldn't. We're just looking for that right angle, that 90-degree bend. So this is like one of my faves. You gotta try it. If you're not doing it, try this. Try this. Okay, the last thing that you would do, well, a couple different things, I guess, for our crunches. What I like, so you're gonna take the pillow and you're gonna squeeze it between your knees. So part of our 10-10-10 morning ritual exercise of this, I'm gonna squeeze it between my knees. I can also actually, I'm gonna do a double treble here. Squeeze it between my knees. This activates your pelvic floor, and I mean really squeeze it. And your transverse abs. Now do your 10 crunches without losing that contraction of the pillow. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Squeeze at the knees. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, exhale, squeeze at the knees. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Keep going. Now, you can also, if you have 2 pillows, squeeze at the knees and use the pillow to help lengthen your neck as you're crunching. And I don't know, if you do not feel this in your core, then you must have an 8-pack. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is why I love doing Perfect 10 and just like simplifying stuff and doing fun things like that. I really like that. What do you think, Dan?
Good stuff.
It is good stuff. All right. If you enjoyed our pillow technique, drop in the comments, yes. If you did not, drop in the comments, no, I have no freaking clue what you're talking about, work. Okay, that's okay too, because that gives me feedback, and I really want to continue to make this better. All right, so this was our Perfect 10 Asset Challenge today. And we have a special assignment for our U work. All right. Now, I will give you another free prize. I have a, so the people who did their U work for day 1, you guys are getting something that I have created for my Envision clients, and it's called power posing. This is something that is really amazing for you to do to start your day, to build your confidence, to build your energy, to carry yourself like a perfect freaking 10. It doesn't take long. It takes like seriously just a couple minutes. But I curated these poses from a TED Talk with Ann Cuddy, and it's like superhero pose, like lady boss pose. It's fun. It's really fun. So those people from day 1, you get that prize. For day 2, if you do your U work for day 2, I will send you one of my towel workouts. That is a follow along, okay? All right, now you will get this. I think I'll DM them. Maybe I'll DM them. That might be the best. Or email, I don't know yet. You'll get it. We'll figure it out. I don't know, what do I look like? The leader of this challenge? All right, if you're having fun out there, give me some love, give me some thumbs up.
Got a lot of people that are liking the pillow stuff on here.
Okay. Good deal. You guys are so good to me.
A few comments on guessing why people don't get results in the gym. One was incorrect form. Another was doing the same thing every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Those are good answers. And there's truth behind all of them. There's truth behind all of them. Yeah. I do, and I don't want you guys to think when I go to the gym, and if you see me out in the wild, you're like, oh, there's work, judging me. No, honestly, I just observe because I think, okay, how could I help my current gals, right? Like my homegirls, how can I help them when I'm observing other people down here in a good old Lake Norman? I'm like, all right. Now I go to a bodybuilding gym, so I mean, people are getting after it. It's a whole different animal that I see down there. But when I was going to Anytime Fitness, Planet Fitness, you would see that where I'm like, lots of talking and lots of distraction. So yeah, anywho, I would just say, if that's you, less talk, more do, as well as get off your phone, unless you're doing perfect 10 right now. Okay, I want to make sure that I am not missing anything before I let you go for the day, because I told you today's going to be a little bit shorter. Here is your U work assignment. Get ready for this. You can write this down. When are you going to do your 10, 10, 10 exercises tomorrow? Or I guess we want today and tomorrow, using the pillow. Okay, and you can incorporate the calf raises. So everything's in your manual, by the way, with the exercises, except what I did today, because this is the bonus stuff. That's why you're showing up for the live, so you can learn some new things. So what I need to see is you're going to drop under the pinned post. If you handwrite it down on your calendar when you're going to do this, if you want to say, hey, I'm going to do it right after I brush my teeth tomorrow, or because doing it with me right now doesn't count, by the way, it doesn't count. You have to find your stealth mode. So your stealth mode, I consider, is your self mode. And this is one of the most vital ingredients I help my Envision clients with. Because if they are struggling with their main concern is time, people often, their main concern with signing up with me is, Aubrey, I don't think I have the time and I don't think I have the money. And I say, well, let's talk about this concern. So when they're concerned about time, believe it or not, we all have the same 1440 of the day. And I'm not here to get you to spend 3 hours in the gym, especially, I mean, who wants that? That's not a life, okay? So if you have 3 minutes, that is very apparent. You have to make just a little bit of time for fitness, right? It's like me trying to save up money and going to Starbucks every day. It's like, don't go to Starbucks every day, go 3 days a week, okay? And the money will start to save up. So think of it that way. The other concern that people have is about cost. And once I talk to them, I say, well, what are we comparing coaching to? Because a lot of times people have never had a fitness expert or nutrition expert coach them. So we have to say, like, what are we comparing it to? Are we comparing this to the cost of a Rolls Royce, or are you comparing it to the cost of a Planet Fitness membership? So neither of those things apply to coaching. So I think that's another thing I always like to address in tomorrow's talk, where we're going to talk about the cost shift. So on day one, we talked about mind shift. Today, we talked about your time shift. You could see how short these little workouts were, and how you can habit anchor them into your day before or after you brush your teeth, or I want to see when you're going to go into your stealth mode under that pin post. Is that clear, Dan? I know it was a little messy in this delivery this time.
Yeah, so the U work is to tell them when they're going in the stealth mode to do their 10 exercises. Right? The
U work is for you to tell me when you are going into stealth mode to do your exercises, your 10, 10, 10. And bonus, I'm throwing in the calf raises. And I'd love for you to incorporate the pillow there, because now I'm going to be taking pillows to the gym. Just kidding. You can do these. Obviously, we're doing these at home. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to, I want to tee up. I want to do an interview. Usually I do interviews on Fridays. So we'll see. But tomorrow is all about the cost shift. So let's say in your heart of hearts and your dream of dreams, you're like, I really would love to work with a specialist and see where I can go with my goals. I want to feel better. I want to change my body. I want to show up in this lifetime as a completely different version of myself. And what does that feel like to experience that? I tell people like this. I've listened to stories before. We've heard these stories where someone's like, yeah, I was dirt poor. I was living under a bridge, and now I'm a multimillionaire. And you know what I think about those people? Not only are they amazing, but I've heard them say this. They're like, yeah, I already know what it feels like to be poor. Now I want to know what it feels like to be wealthy. And I thought, oh, what an interesting mind shift. And I thought, well, how could I approach this, people on these calls, to think differently? Okay, well, now I know what it feels like to have maybe low energy, lots of doctor's appointments, to be on a lot of medications. Now I know what it feels like to, carry a lot of weight. Now I want to know what it feels like to have more energy, less body fat. Maybe you are one of those people who are like, maybe you do want to work with me because you want to do a bodybuilding show. So no goal is too small or too large to work with an expert, just like if I were working with a financial advisor. So something to think about. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the cost shift. That has helped people when they have had concerns about those about money. Drop in the comments too, what are your concerns about working with someone, if that's what you want. Not everybody wants that, but if you're like, I really want this, but I've never pulled the trigger on doing something like this for myself before. That's the point of a discovery call. So how to book a call with moi is you can DM me, you can drop in the comments, I want to book my call, or you can respond to my email that you'll get later on for the replay, and you'll get a link to my calendar. Okay? All right, gals. Above all, I want to thank you so much for being here today. I can't wait to hear what your biggest takeaway today was with P10 assets. And tomorrow you just might learn a thing or two about yourself, believe it or not, talking about money. All right. Ciao for now.